this is the main road of Beresford Estate, and a lot of the residents were quite keen on an avenue of trees. And so I guess at some stage I took it upon myself, with some help from some other people, to put in an avenue where we don't have any telephone poles or fiber cable.
Where you don't have to worry about it, being an inconvenience down the line.
Yeah. And so I actually love like a relatively uncurated look.
Yeah.
And so my original intention was to clear all the trees that I guess that we didn't want, and leave trees that were, leave trees to grow. And you'll see there's a lot of trees here that are approximately 2 meters from the fence and not too close to the road. And so like these here. And so I've deliberately left these.
Yeah.
But we'll probably take these out. The residents kind of only want to see the trees that
They're
we've planted.
tree-lined, effectively.
Yeah. But I haven't actually had the heart to come and chop these out. So, but this one I love, and this is some sort of climbing
moringa.
Combretum. No?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, moringa. You're right. Combretum with white flowers.
Imberbe, maybe.
No. It probably has the white flowers, because Imberbe is not climbing. It's a proper tree, effectively.
Yeah. So there's the
Mozambicense.
Yeah, Mozambicense. Yeah. And then, I guess in terms of species again, so what we did, and again in terms of thinning, so behind us we've got the Musakili, what's that, the Trichelia?
Trichelia medica?
Yes, Emetica.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've got Emetica and
Dredgiana, which is the forest.
Yeah, that's Emetica. And then here we have, hidden away here, we have the Cape Ash.
Kaya.
This is Cape Ash.
This is your Ekbergia.
Yeah, Ekbergia capensis.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is, on all the small fence posts, it alternates between the Ekbergia, the Cape Ash, and the Musakili, the Natal mahogany. And then on the big, on the silver fence posts, we've got the red mahogany, the
Kaya.
Yeah, the Kaya. It's Kaya.
Anthotheca, something like that.
Anthotheca, yeah.
Yeah, they changed the name from some time back. So
the Kaya, because the Kaya will grow, the Kaya will grow enormous, and so I didn't want too many of them. No.
Well, but in all fairness, it makes sense to have a mixture of different things, because if you ever have problems with one, it's not going to spread through the whole, whole line. The different families will. I'm just trying to think, actually.
Yeah.
Kaya. I think they actually might be in all the same families.
Yeah, they're all relatively similar. So I chose them because they're evergreen, they're indigenous. There is a risk that the Cape Ash needs more water than what we have, but looking at some of them, especially the last one there, which is a pretty big specimen.
They're looking really healthy, though.
They're looking, I would say, almost the best out of everything.
Have they been watered during the dry season this year?
Yeah, it's been super dry, and the original plan was not to do any watering and for these things to be completely self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But this year is a bit of a cheat. So two things happened. One was that I planted super late. I can't remember, but I planted sort of like after January or something, and the rainy season wasn't really bad. So I never really gave these trees any chance for their roots to get down and for them to get, properly established. So I have watered them at least once a month, and I've put between like 50 and 100 liters in. You'll see there's a little black pipe. Yeah. Sticking out the back. So my tree planting method is taken, nothing to do with me, but I do truly believe it works. It's from Trees for Zambia, and I guess I think it's relatively common. But you dig a 1 cube hole, so 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. The pipe, the black pipe, goes down to the bottom of that 1 meter hole. If you're really getting into it, you can lay like some clay bricks down there,
so
which kind of bind the water, and also that there's I guess some spacing for the pipe. I haven't done that here. There were so many holes and I had only so much time, and then I've filled back in the hole with a mixture of topsoil and goat and horse manure, but I mean sometimes I use grass, and I don't like to do it, but I did spray some
herbicides around it.
for termites, because the termites do come in when you've put that much organic matter in there, and it's not completely broken down. They tend to come in and smash it.
You've given them a buffet.
I didn't like that, and I don't always put that in. The other thing you can do is throw down tobacco leaves,
dust and stuff.
which I've done before, and then a lot of mulching. So mulching.
This does look about a foot thick in some places there.
So we've not every tree has this, but we've tried to have like 10 centimeters of grass around the trees. And I have to say, this is where I know that mulching is supposed to work and everything, but when we were watering, like when it was really hot, we actually did put almost all the water goes down the pipes, but again, because I hadn't given them enough time for their roots to go down, we did
have to water on top.
And also my gardener George and the team, they almost always put a little bit on top, like maybe 10%, because they're just like, no, it needs a little bit of something.
It's one thing, your roots will grow to water, but if it's too far down from where the initial, they're going to dry no matter what. So it does need to.
But I really think this method does work. When you're putting water 1 meter down, you lose way less. And then generally I try and cap the pipe. Unfortunately, that black pipe has been broken, but I normally cap it with a beer bottle, which works quite well, just so that you don't have any evaporation outside of the pipe. I don't know if it makes a difference, but that's
once it's down there, it should be down there. I'm assuming you've drilled into the pipes perforations so that
I haven't actually.
Oh, okay.
It just kind of goes down and out. Probably a perforation would be
spreading it out a little further. That would be a fantastic method, especially for fruit trees.
Yes.
Where you are then watering more regularly and knowing that that's getting down there than having it just at the top level. So.
So I think for this, and for the trees that I have in my other plots, I use the pipe maybe for like 2 or 3 seasons, and then then you can literally just pull it out. But I think for fruit trees it would be great. And then like this year I didn't really get round to it, but it's been so hot that I would have liked to have watered some of my trees on my plot, just to give them that extra edge. I think this year would have been a bad year for tree planting. If it was just to let them go.
It was absolutely terrible. And if you did plant, even at the beginning of the season, you'd still have to water to keep those things going. Because there was not, for us, it ended at the end of January. No rain since then until just these last few weeks now. So.
Let's open it. So interestingly, this is bought from Trees for Zambia at I want to say 3 years old. I think because of the heat, I don't know, they haven't done, they have grown. They've kind of been growing almost the whole year, but I guess at different times at different speeds. But when I have left them without water, I think they've taken a bit of strain.
Oh yeah, no,
and
definitely.
I wonder if it's just like the amount of heat was a problem.
I think actually leaving this in the time being has probably been really good for the trees though, because it also reduces the airflow around them. So inadvertently, by leaving these up, you're actually creating a bit more of a microclimate around some of these plants for them to be able to adapt quite well.
That's exactly what I said to George, because he was like, "Oh, we're going to chop the trees around," and I was like, "George, I'm in 2 minds." I'm like, one, this gives them a little bit of shade, which this extreme height is not bad, and then to sort of creating that microclimate. But then the other thing is, like, I don't know how much now the competition,
they're benefiting from the water.
Yeah, and the competition will affect
well, invariably,
I mean, it's looking,
these are always going to have some level of people digging them out.
Yeah.
Unless you said, no, let's grow them into a normal tree, somebody's always going to have to come every year and essentially reduce the root growth.
Yeah.
Because they'll just continue doing that. You cut it back, it'll resprout. You cut it back, it'll resprout. Yeah.
Definitely some of these, I can't say which ones, but there are a lot down here that have been sort of hacked down to the base. And I think it's, it's unfortunate if you want it to be tidy, but I think it makes me happy to see just how fast these the trees that are cut back can rejuvenate.
Well, like if you said this was cut back, that's at least 2+, almost 3 meters in a season. That's phenomenal. Effectively.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I guess it's because they've got such a great.
Well, they'll have a really good rootstock, essentially.
Yeah.
Where we are here right now, you'll have, like what we have, that kind of alluvial deposit. So this soil is probably fairly deep.
Yes.
When you were digging these holes, you weren't coming across the laterite that you have closer to yours?
If you get to the bottom, you will start finding the laterite. So this has got, quite a thick layer of sort of clay on top and then going into laterite.
Yeah.
I'd say this clay is like relatively common here, and so
kind of sandy clay.
Yeah, and so I think here it's pretty safe to plant the Musikili, the Natal mahogany. I think is pretty safe, and also the red mahogany, the Kaya Anthroteca is also a pretty safe bet.
Yeah.
I'd like to say so is the Cape Ash, but my feeling is the Cape Ash maybe wants more water than
it's an experiment, right? Yeah. It's got to get its roots down there. It's got to take care of itself after a while.
Yeah.
In the end. If there are other people who want to kind of recreate what you've done and planting in public spaces, what would you suggest, or how would you suggest that they potentially go about doing that?
Yeah. So location is super important. Just one, like, is that location going to have longevity for the tree? So is there a risk of infrastructure coming over? Is there a risk that it's going to end up being built on? And then when you're looking at location, just I guess what are the environmental factors around there? Like, so can you put in a nice big tree that can have invasive roots? So if it's like in the middle of the park, maybe you can put a fig tree. But if it's going to be street side, then you're going to need something with a nice tidy root structure, and then also like whether it's going to be watered, it's going to get some water from somewhere or not. So all these trees here it's relatively level, so they take a lot of water from the road. It'll seep.
Especially like we can see what does fall is going to accumulate here and give them a little bit of extra.
Yeah, she'll be okay. Come, honey. And then I think the second one is in terms of planting, it's really good to spend a lot of time up front getting your planting right. And so the it's really it's important to get your planting right. So as I mentioned, the cube, so digging a nice big hole for your plant, having a pipe that you can water, put the water down, and then backfilling with a mixture of the topsoil and the compost really gives your tree a good chance at survival. Next one would be timing. So important to plant during, like, just before the rains. So ideally, like just as the rains start, or if you can do a bit of watering, then just before the rains start, so that you can really give the tree the best chance of getting away
before the grasses even start to grow. In that sense.
And But what I do find is with the trees, with the grass, with everything, even if you water before the rains come, there's something with the rains. There's something in the water or the air that just makes everything grow faster. So I think timing's crucial to get in as close to the start of the rains as possible. And I guess, I don't know if the last one is really a tip, but it's just that tree choice, which is similar back to location, but if you can plant something that's hardy, that indigenous is normally used to our weather, and so it can survive. But even within indigenous, some trees will fare better than others. Some might like a high water table.
And you don't want to take something that grows next to the river and try and plant it on an escarpment slope.
Yeah, exactly.
So be mindful of those kinds of things.
Exactly.